the New York...
All I'll say to you is, just watch.
How are you going to cope with the big holding company telling you what you do, and almost you'll have to do it, really, won't you?
Well, not really. I mean, Paul, one of the things, when you get into a discussion like this, the first, and really most of the discussion that we had with them was about really preservation of the way we are. In other words, we both agreed, they and us, that, why would you try and fix something that isn't broken? Why would you, kill the goose that lays the egg? I mean, we've run it our way for as long as they've been involved, 37 years. It's been a worry-free investment for them. They are absolutely convinced and committed to letting us continue to run it that way. They are not interested in trying to run this business from New York.
They will treat you differently to other parts of the parts of the empire.
Yeah.
We know that in other holding companies, Omnicom perhaps less than, say, Publicis or WPP, but they do micromanage their operations. Now that means, in leasing, people hire, salaries, all those things. Will you be subservient to a regional headquarters at least?
No, we won't. Yes, certainly. We'll change our financial year because that's pretty obvious.
Now, won't it be?
Yeah, and so on. We'll go calendar. And we'll have to do a little bit more in terms of the detail that we need to supply them, but that's about it.
That's written into some sort of
agreement. Absolutely.
And how does that, what are some details? And we'll come to Matthew in a minute because he's obviously still Australian at the moment.
I think the other point, if I could just be clear, is that part of this deal was that we held over, I think it's actually 26%, was left in the hands of the Australian and New Zealand shareholders, and that was absolutely inviolate from both sides, actually.
I don't know. I mean, the way Rob's describing it sounds like a pretty good arrangement to me, but only time will tell, I guess.
Well, I mean, again, we will be still able to be fleet of foot. Believe me, we don't have to go through, long protracted bureaucracy. I mean, if we want to buy something, we'll buy it. The way we've always done.
Okay, so you don't have to go through...
We don't have to go through...
Any of the channels further up?
We don't have... Well, of course, you would never do anything without, respectfully, engaging with, all your shareholders. But we will be able to be as entrepreneurial as we've been.
Because in the past, it would be you and Hilton Mackley looking at each other and going, this is a good idea, let's go to the board. The board would, say, yep, and you could make a fast decision. Yeah. None of those channels further up. I'm just not convinced that the New York...
All I'll say to you is, just watch.
I will be.
Because I'm certain that I'll be able to prove to you very quickly what I'm talking about.
Okay. So,
in fact, matter of weeks.
In a matter of weeks, so we've got an acquisition coming?
We might have.
Ooh. Matthew, I think, Robert, it's a fair point, and I do think those hands might be full over the Americans at some stage, somewhere down the track. I just can't see it. But you've got a few things on the boil yourself. Today, I think today just starts in the chair as the head of Photon's agency group in Australia.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us why you took that move. It too is potentially a high risk jump for you, but there must be some reasons why you did it. Tell us.
I don't think it feels like a high risk jump for me. The reason I did it is I've been CEO of BMF for 15 years, and we've achieved a lot here in that time. But there's a lot of fantastic people within BMF that have been coming through. Jeremy Nicholas, we've now made CEO, and he's an outstanding practitioner, and he's going to do really, really well. And when you've got a business, when you've done the same job for 15 years, and you've got great people coming through, you reach a natural point at which you say, well, what am I going to do next? The opportunities come up now with the Photon agencies, and there's a lot of very good people in there, and there's a lot of great businesses, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with it.
Next week on AdNews Influencers.
Yeah, well, there are a number of people that were vendors to Photon that have had to enter into a restructured arrangement. But what that really does is that aligns all those people together really, really well, and makes sure that we're keen to see the businesses do well. So I think that's a positive. There's no need to over-respond to the situation. I think most of the businesses have been trading extremely well, despite the noise in the background.
I think Photon will be well served by the new regime. I don't know whether the previous regime really understood the business in which they operated.